Hi guys, in today's episode we are going to be talking about a exercise that we did 2-3 nights ago.
Yeah.
Um, and basically what it is you sit down with your partner and you have a piece of paper, and the question that you pose to your partner is, what is important to you?
Yeah, so this is an exercise that will help with, can help with relationship. It can help with if you're working with your partner or even in business, people that you work with. This is a great exercise to do with them. It just really helps you understand the other person and kind of where they're coming from and obviously what's important to them. So that's actually the exercise. Sit down together, no distractions, turn off phones, turn off TVs, computers, like all those things. Maybe this is after the kids go to bed if you're doing it with your significant other. You sit down and 100% focus on each other, and one person asks the other person what is important to you. And if you guys know you're going to do this, maybe do a little bit of kind of thinking about it beforehand on your own individually, so that once you sit down, you don't just go, I don't really know. So maybe there needs to be a little bit of preparation before you guys sit down together. Maybe it's a couple of days prior, maybe it's a week prior, for people to kind of just like really get into listening to themselves and what's important. But then once you sit down together, one person asks the other what's important to you, and the other person goes through and says those things out loud, and they can take as much time as they need to. And there's no judgments here. This is 100% a judgment-free zone. And the other person writes it down, and then they repeat it back.
That's the important part, right? So as your partner is telling you what's important to them, you don't interrupt what it is that they're saying or anything like that. You just have your piece of paper and you're very, very present to what it is that they're saying to you, and then you write down what you're hearing.
Word for word.
Yeah, word for word. You need to try to get it as accurate as you possibly can. And then once they're finished, you're going to actually repeat back to them what it is that you wrote down that they said was important to you. And that is the other part of this exercise that is actually really, really important, because that puts you in a place of listening to really listen and get it. And because communication is always a little iffy, if you will, it also gives a chance for your partner, as you're reading back what they said, to be like, well, what I actually like, this is what is important about this thing that I said that was important. It just allows the whole thing to sort of crystallize and get more polished.
So the key in this is actually what I think what you're saying is writing it down, is because like our brains have to actually listen in order to write, versus if we're just listening, our brain can go off and like start thinking about something else, or maybe they say something that triggers a memory, or maybe we disagree with what they say, and then all of a sudden our brain's going off. But if we're having to write it down, our brain actually has to concentrate on exactly what they're saying to be able to write it. So that's really important part of the exercise, versus you guys just sitting down and conversating about what is important. Plus you have these things written down that you can go back and look at and reference as well.
And then just to be crystal clear, no interrupting your partner. So while they're talking, saying what's important to them, there's no interruptions. Your only job is to basically be writing down what it is that you're hearing that they're saying to you.
Yeah, and a lot of times as partners, and especially if you've been together for a while, you might have a listening, like an occurrence of your partner that would be different than what they're saying. So they may be saying something X, this is important to me, and you're thinking, no, it's not. Like, actually, this is more important than that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So you really have to like step outside of that and really just listen and don't interrupt, and really just write it down word for word what they're saying, and just be like removed, I guess, from the emotional part of it, and just let them be who they are.
Yep. And that is the exercise.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. We would love to hear if you guys do the exercise and what you thought of it, or if you have questions, post in the comments below for sure. It was definitely an awesome, we had 2 pages each?
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't something that happens in like 5 minutes.
No, I think it took us probably an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah. But it's time that's like really well spent with your partner.
Yeah, and I will give you a tip that helped me because we sat down and I was like, what is important to me? And it was a little bit difficult at first. I actually pulled out my 5-minute journal where I write down every day 3 things that I'm grateful for. And going back through, I could actually see the things that were really important to me because I was extra grateful for them. So that helped me kind of get rolling and get started, because at first I felt really kind of stumped or stuck on writing down what it was that was really important. So that was something. So maybe if you're stuck or if you're thinking about this before you guys sit down and do it together, think about the things that you're grateful for, and that might be able to be a starting place for you for sure. But definitely leave us a comment. We want to know if you do the exercise, what you think of it, and anything else that you want to say.
Yep. There's no right, wrong, or judgments. Just do it and have fun with it.
Yeah, awesome. Bye guys.